Everyone, this is Linda Ferguson. I'm a financial and life strategist, and today you are watching Platinum Prime for Life, the show where we teach you what our best tips are for creating an amazing life in the, as Karen says it, the fourth quarter of your life. This is...
And I'm Wilson Bell, and I'm 81 years old, and I'm ready, willing, and able to help other people who want to live life as a superior senior. I call us super seniors.
Exactly. Super senior is a big title to live up to, and I can attest that Karen is living a super senior life. So today we're actually looking at the subject of success and redefining what that means to us and possibly to you in this Platinum Prime stretch of your life. So let me just ask Karen, so what was success like for you in your younger years? And what does it mean to you today?
Funny you should ask. When I was 21, I got into the music business. I'd been making music since I was 2 years old, but I started playing professionally at the age of 21. And I said to myself at the age of 21, if I haven't made it by the time I'm 25, I'll quit. And all of my aspirations were around music and professionalism and business goals. And I didn't have a goal to be married or to raise a family. It was all music driven. Then I got to be 25 and I looked around and I hadn't made it. I was doing well. I was making, not everybody can make a living making music. And I always made my living making music, been able to do that. But I hadn't made it like being famous. And so here I was 25 and I had to acknowledge, well, am I gonna do what I promised, which was quit, or am I going to keep going? And well, obviously I kept going. And then I got to 30 and 35 and 40 and definitely after 50, I'm quitting. No, at 50, I was producing a country show and I was starring one of the stars in the country show. So at 50, I said, well, maybe when I'm 65, I'll retire. I'm still going. I'm 81 and I'm still producing shows and making music and writing music and working with my partner that we still do TV pilots and TV shows. So my goals have stayed the same, but they've shifted in terms of intensity. And I wonder why, because I think most women at age 21, they have some focus on raising a family. And I don't know why. There was one time when I was married to that I did want to raise a family, and I didn't have the good fortune to do so. And I'm not sure why. The family was not the most important thing to me. And I see clearly that many women, that has been one of their definitions of success, was how happy was their family. But mine was all about music. And I guess it kind of still is. Right now, success is definitely measured around productivity. Am I still productive? And the answer is yes. And so I consider myself successful. Do I want more? Yeah, I want more.
Okay. Yeah. Like you, I definitely had different criteria for what was success for me when I was younger. And I started out, I was all about relationships. I was all about getting married to the man I would love forever. I didn't really think about kids as much when I started out, but family, when I finally did get married, because I enjoyed relationships without marriage when I was younger. And then when I finally decided this is a man I could marry and live with forever, and did commit to getting married, we started a family soon after that. And that continued on for 35 years. I was married for 35 years, not forever, but during that time, it was balancing. The other weirdness about me, and I think it's a weirdness, is I have not liked working for someone else my entire career. So I've been an entrepreneur, and my ex-husband, same way. We're both entrepreneurs. And so the criteria was, let's be successful as entrepreneurs. And for me, let's be successful as parents and acquire a wonderful life that way. So what has changed now? Well, for me, definitely, I'm still an entrepreneur. I'm a partner in a relatively new financial services business. My passion has changed from what I used to do, which involved the internet. Wow, I was like way ahead of my time back then. But it was always working with my husband. It was always sort of a squash together of business and family and, making it work, which isn't necessarily a great thing for either business or family, but it was one of the things that worked for us. We managed to make it work. Today, it's don't work with my husband. I'm madly in love with my husband. I've been married for a little over a year and a half now. Very successful there. In a new business that is a challenging business for me, I decided for this last stretch that I would go into a field that I was uncomfortable with. And we'll talk about that later, but one of the ways I'm getting more and more comfortable with it is I'm teaching it to others. So it's a great way, if you want to learn something and actually be proficient at that thing, assign yourself the task of having to teach it to another, and pretty dang soon you figure out where you're having struggles and work it out for yourself so that you can have others achieve success. So that's my financial and life strategist. And I am finding lots of good wins there, things that I really should have known earlier but didn't. So fast forward is, am I less ambitious? Yes, I'm less ambitious because the balance in life, which was lacking earlier, I make it a priority now to have.
That's nice.
So, all things good on that. And with that in mind, we're going to continue and actually consult some experts on the subject of success in later years. This is a quote from John Wooden. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing you made the effort to become the best in which you are capable.
Say it again.
Sure. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable.
That's fascinating. John Wooden, wasn't he a famous football coach?
He was a coach, yes. And don't ask me for what team because I would fail miserably at telling you.
Well,
But
it's enough that I know the name, and just I'm not a big football fan.
yeah,
But
same
he
here.
must be really famous if you and I know his name.
He's a super winning coach.
Yeah.
Just I have no clue what team. But
Yeah.
What's really beautiful about that quote is it's not best in the room. It's not best in your group. It's best in you. You're making the effort to become the best that you're capable of becoming in whatever you're choosing to become best at and successful at.
So when I look at you,
yeah,
I think you are a successful woman, a successful entrepreneur, and a successful family maker. I would imagine when people look at me, they think I'm successful because I've done a lot of things where I won this award and that award. And so I feel successful, but frustrated that I'm not more than I am. So according to John Wooden, I'm semi-successful. I'm like trying to evaluate, am I successful or am I creeping up on it? Or is, do they keep moving the mile marker? Like in football.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Are you continuing to make the effort to be the best that you can be?
Yes.
Yeah. Relentless drive, I just have to say.
Yes, I am.
Well, then you are successful for sure.
Why? Okay, well, I wouldn't want to argue with you.
And didn't you just win an award like last week for those efforts?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I did win an award. Yeah.
We got to celebrate that for sure because that was actually a rare award, meaning it doesn't come easily to everyone who attempts to hit it, but you hit it because you were relentless in pursuing it. You just
Yes.
kept going for the markers. So
I
very
forgot
well
about
done.
it. Thank you for reminding me. I'm sorry, that just really cracks me up because I do tend to live in the future more than I don't live in the past very much. I hardly ever have spend time thinking about the past. And I try to, be present in the present, but I do find myself thinking in future. And I just in thinking in future, I forgot that it was only like 6 days ago that I accomplished something that I had set out, and it took me a year to accomplish that. It wasn't a slow thing. I had hoped to accomplish it in months, but it took me a year, slightly more than a year, to accomplish the goal in my company. It was just a position in my company that I arose to, and I completely forgot because I'm busy thinking about the future. That was very funny, Linda. It just really cracked me up.
That's really, really good. So, just out of curiosity's sake, how far in the future would you say you live or plan for?
Well, that's interesting. Because I'm pretty far, because I have this pledge to live to 120. I don't know if I'll live to 120. I know it's possible because people have done it. And the technology keeps improving for living a healthy lifestyle. And I'm trying to take advantage of all science advances. I pay attention to the advances in science, and the products that I offer to people to help them be seniors are disruptive technology that is new and different from what we've tried before to be healthy. And so I'm looking at 120. If I make it to 120, that will be amazing. If I only make it to 100, totally 1,000% believe I will make it to 100. But if I only make it to 99, it's a good game to play, because at 99, I will have all my marbles and I'll have the same energy that I have right this very minute, and I'll be healthy. That's the goal, to be. So I guess I'm planning pretty far ahead into the future. I'm planning on being a very, very healthy, sentient, helpful human being, valuable to my fellow man, certainly at the age of 100, and potentially seeing how far I can go beyond that. So I probably plan pretty far. But in terms of the actual planning, because I use a tool, it's called an administrative scale of importances. And for short, I call it an admin scale. And it lists out all the things that would be necessary to plan, because I'm a planner. You can't produce shows and TV shows without knowing how to plan, because you have to plan ahead. You have to plan many months ahead to build your sets, and to get the costumes made, and to get the music clearance, and it's just very involved. So I'm really good at planning. So I use this admin scale thing to do my planning, and I plan probably about a year in advance, in terms of administrative scale that I use. I at least am a year out, and probably maybe 5 years out. In Japan, they say that you should have a 5-year plan. No, or in business, even in America, they say you should have a 5-year plan. But in Japan, they say you should have a 100-year plan. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't have a 100-year plan, other than to make it to 100. I guess is my plan. So I'm going to ask you to answer the same question.
Sure. So when I started out on my younger self, it was a 5-year plan. That's usually what I worked for. Business wise, our business changed. The internet actually changed radically. And so from year to year, that would be different seasons for a business. And family and kids, same thing. So I always had an overall idea of what my life looked like. And more or less, as I got up to the point of moving from California, where we started out, to Florida, which drastically changed not only the living situation, was still really nice, but work. We closed down a company in California, so I didn't have employees anymore. Didn't close it down. We actually sold it to our employees. Moved here, and then it was just individual work more. Those things shifted. What I can say is I got everything I planned for earlier. But when I looked at the future, especially after my divorce, I was a bit unable to plan effectively. So I needed to get grounded again, which I did do. And I just started looking at my ideal life, which included getting married again and finding a partner. For me personally, that's how I operate best. I am still relationship centric with work worked in, but balanced with the relationship. Those things. So I'm going to say I always try and set a year up in advance, but I'm not always great at the prediction of what it's going to take to pull it off. So I'm going to say quarterly is a better span for me as far as actual planning, with the overall, what does success mean for me? Big picture look.
Yeah. I think people have heard the phrase, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I think that do think that's true. And for me, writing things down is very important. And I posted something and somebody responded about the importance of writing down your goals. And I know people that don't write their goals down. I mean, and they probably could be successful people. I don't know. For me, when I put ink to the paper, it's the first time something that is in my imagination, it's the first time it actually hits the physical universe. The ink soaks into the paper, and all of a sudden, what was my imagination is now a physical thing, a physical reality. And so me writing everything down is it's really important. I just finished writing down. I have it right here in my yeah, I just finished. That's what it is. I, and that's
Excellent.
the start of it, and that's not a very impressive thing. That's kind of messy, right? But it's the start, and it's the start of the physical universe manifestation of what's in my that I my decisions. The decision comes first, the imagination expands it, and then paper takes it to physical. Now there's other steps that one must do. One can't just that isn't all you have to do.
All right. So tell me, on what you just wrote down, is that something new, or is it something where you're narrowing down or redefining what you've been working toward? What is that?
This is for the companies that I have a couple of companies, and everything is focused on super senior. And this is these are my goals for bringing. Well, the goal is to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. My design is to deliver, to enable others to be happy, healthy, and wealthy and wise. To enable, there's a dog there. I hear he's very intent.
That is, I'll have to put a picture of Bucky up. This is Bucky, who is the most unique dog.
He's
And Bucky has, he's funny. Anyway, Bucky has certain roles he's assigned himself. And one of them is when our coffee maker has the grounds that need to be emptied, and my husband takes the coffee and takes it out to the compost thing, Bucky immediately starts spinning around and barking wildly. So that is Bucky doing that.
Bucky,
I know.
well, the purpose behind being happy and healthy and wealthy and wise is to enable us, and to enable myself and others, to live our best purpose-driven lives. In other words, I have purposes in life, and I want to be healthy and happy because it makes me more able to live a purpose service, living a life in service of others. I think is a good. I believe wholeheartedly, Linda, in volunteerism. I think volunteerism is can save America. America's got its problems, and I think that volunteerism and uh, uh, helping others, just 1-on-1 or 1-on-20, whatever it is, I think that's where the game is. And so if we are personally happy, and we are personally healthy, and we have enough financial resources, and you know this, if you don't have the financial resources, your attention goes to how can I keep gas in my tank, and how can I keep the utilities on, and how can I have food on the table. These are not real high purposes, they're purposes for you, but it's so much more fun when you're like, how can I help my neighbor have gas in his tank and food on his table? So I really believe that for me to help others be healthy and happy and wealthy and maintain their marbles and be smart is to enable them to live their purpose, whatever their purpose might be, is to hopefully a good and noble. Hopefully they have good and noble goals and not bad skanky goals. You know, I would love to enable people to live their best purpose-driven life. So that was the
That's
beginning of
beautiful. Yeah.
that one.
Well, so for you, it sounds like your definition of success has shifted slightly, but still is firmly in place, and that you revisit how to achieve that success on a regular basis, and you tweak what it's going to take for you to get there and the vehicles that you're using to take you there.
Absolutely. Because I'm still doing music, and if music can help me do that, but I go and I play for senior facilities. Sometimes the people are so incapacitated that I can't even tell if they're receiving anything, and then they come up to me afterwards and they express that it lifted their day, and so I'm enabling people through music. So that would be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. It's like kind of very fundamental and basic, right? But if I make somebody happy, I'm doing my goal.
Absolutely.
If I made you happy today.
So today we've been redefining what success means, both to Karen and to me. And we've prepared a worksheet for you with 10 steps you can take to redefine your own success, no matter what season of life you're in, whether you're just starting out. What's that?
Are you going to read?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yay.
Is that cool? This is a worksheet. So I'm just actually going to go over what's on the worksheet. My eyes will look at it, and but just go over what it is. And then at the end, I will have a link to the worksheet for you to download if you're listening to us on YouTube or on our website with our show notes. Or you can go to lindaferguson.com/Platinum Prime Podcast, and you can find this is episode 39. Click on that and you'll be able to find it there.
Yay.
All right. So this is how to redefine success for yourself. So it is revisit what your old definition is, just to start out with, just as we did. What did success mean for you earlier on in life? And then see if you're still living by anything that you established earlier that doesn't fit your life now. And that's actually really important, because if you're looking at what used to be in measuring your life now and it's not fitting, you're not feeling successful.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Revisit your definition of success. And you're just going to say, what does success mean to me in earlier years? What does it mean now? And then identify what your core values are. For me, it is relationships, family, business success, And actually, family comes first, relationships second, business success third. Those are my core values. And Karen's are different. But you might also have health success now in your later years. I know, actually, sleep was such a thing for me. And I've hit success on that, which is a big yay. But anyway, you're going to write that down for you. And we have some tips on how to do that. Next is stop comparing your success to others. In other words, just like John Wooden said, if you make the effort to be the best that you can be personally, and you're doing it, you're achieving those things, you are successful. So don't look at someone else. I stopped looking at Karen long ago. I mean, who can stay beautiful and vibrant and still win production awards at 81 and have energy to go out and entertain others every day? It is not me, but it is Karen. So you're going to actually look to see, are you comparing your success to anyone else? And if so, notice it and then stop it. Okay, so now, right? What's that?
It made me laugh to hear you say that.
There's a really good term that I came across recently, and it's something that I actually ask myself every day, this question. So, taking my definition for success, what I need to do to be successful, and where I am today, there is a gap between those two places. So every day I ask myself whether I shortened the gap by the actions that I took during the day, or whether I widened it through my poor choices or whatever. And that one question has been so helpful for me to just filter activities through. Is what I'm about to do going to shorten the gap or widen the gap? Did what I just do at the end of the day shorten or widen the gap? And I'll tell you, it's gotten me to stop some things that were not helpful to shortening that gap. And yet, it's resulting in more time for me and a happier life. So it is good. So we have a question for you on that. Okay. Now, this is something that Karen just alluded to. Step number 5 is you prioritize your purpose over your productivity. Meaning, don't just do busyness to be busy. Like I talked about shortening the gap. Well, it's a similarity. Once you have clarity on what you're doing and why you're doing it, then you can look at your activities. And is that there? I know some days my husband, he's an amazingly organized and, he and his dog with the checklists, they are a good match. So he's always doing things because he has an exact schedule with exact steps for literally every hour of the day, pretty much. Me, not so much, because mine is, what do I want to accomplish by the end of the day? Or I look at weeks and quarters. I work on quarters. So mine might be, I'm not going to make my bed today. I mean, some days just because I've slept in or whatever. So I do prioritize that. I think Karen does too. And it's a tip that we have for you to just look at what gives you a sense of purpose right now and keep that in mind as your daily activities unfold. Next step, 6, choose growth over perfection. I'm not done growing. I'm just growing differently. Very true.
Good. That's really good.
Uh-huh. Step 7, practice resilience. Bumps in the road don't mean failure, they mean life. Very, very true. So I've observed, because both Karen and I have a lot of friends and we have a lot of mutual friends, the older you get, sometimes you have health bumps especially. You have financial bumps. You have relationship bumps. There are things that you might take them as setbacks because they are. Especially health, which can rob you of the energy to accomplish every other dang thing you had planned. So how do you remain resilient in the face of setbacks? And it's good to look at triumphs that you've had in the past on overcoming something that was a bump in your road. And if you currently have some bumps that you are being faced with, it's a good time to brainstorm. What challenges have I overcome recently? How did I grow from it? And what can I do to keep going? Bumps in the road don't mean failure, they mean life. And we're hopefully going to live a lot more of it and have more bumps to overcome. So we'll just celebrate where we need to, which is step number 8, celebrate small wins. At the end of your day, did you shorten the gap between where you are and where you want to be? Or did you lengthen it? If you shortened it, that is a win. So write down 3 recent wins, big or small. Karen, your list has to be more than 3, I'm telling you. Step 9, redesign your schedule for joy. Now that's a great step, isn't it? The quote is, I want a life that feels good, not just one that looks good. Hey Karen, what does that mean to you? Redesign your schedule for joy.
Well, I want to give you a thoughtful answer. I don't want to just be glib. It means I need to take the time to be with my friends, go to a party. We went to a party on Sunday night. I looked at it as an obligation because I was playing piano at the party. I need to reframe that into it was an opportunity to relax with my friends at a party. Even though, yes, I was obliged to play, I had my attention on it professionally. And it was good because it was productive and it was fun in honor of somebody who turned 90 years old. My gosh, you don't do that every day. Some people never do it. Yeah. But I need to carve out time that is not business. I think I need to carve out some time to and going for a walk in the park is also not entirely the answer, because for me taking a walk is part of my health regimen. So I know I need to go to the movies more, because movies is a pleasure moment for me beyond compare. I love even bad movies. I just love movies, my dream, one of my big fantasy dreams is that before I die at 120, I would produce an Academy Award winning film. I love movies. I have a film in my mind. I've already written a preliminary screenplay and film. So my answer is go to more movies. I need to go to more movies.
Okay, redesign your schedule for joy.
Yeah.
Here's the question that can trigger answers for us all. What activities energize me or bring me joy? How can I do more of them?
So what's really cool is if you do something that is your life's work, that it also brings you joy. And that's the benefit of being a musician. When you are a musician, musicians love music. I've never known a musician. I'm sure there are some musicians that get into it saying, I'm becoming a musician to make a lot of money. I don't think anybody did that. Maybe some male musicians did it to attract the girls. I don't know. I didn't do it to attract the boys, that's for sure. I did it because I love music. So when you have them combined, it's really difficult to name out something else when the thing that you're doing gives you the most music and making art and making art and creating, writing, and that just gives me more pleasure than anything else, actually. Making a movie would give me more pleasure than going to a movie.
There you go. I like that. All right, that is step 9, redesign your schedule for joy. Step 10 is define success out loud. So, success is a life I choose for myself is the quote. Your definition of success. Now, as Karen said, she uses something in writing. She writes it down. Until she writes it down for her, she hasn't quite put it out there in the universe yet. So we're going to have you in one sentence write your personal definition of success today. It can be a very, very long sentence if you choose, but we've given you enough space for that. And then read it out loud to yourself. Very important. Saying it out loud, even if no one's in the room, and probably no one is in the room, but they could be. But you can do it to a mirror, or you can just say it out loud. And there's something about doing that that is very impactful for a person.
It's pure magic. May I tell you the one that I've been writing it down for years now? At first, it was a weight loss goal. I won't read that part of it, but the last half of it is, I am healthy, strong, fit, and trim with boundless energy for all my days, enabling me to live a purpose-driven life for the rest of my time with this body. Now, I know that so well because I've said it 1,000 times. And I now can tell you that it's true. I am healthy, I am strong, I am fit, I am trim. Now I'm tweaking it to make it better. But isn't that fantastic? That the thing that I started saying 7 years ago, I've been saying this for 7 years. It's wow. I mean, just
that
wow.
Is a wow. Huge. Take a tip from that. That is a big wow.
And the more out loud you do it, and if you say, I am healthy, strong, fit, and trim with boundless energy. And I remember when I was studying with Robert Allen, he called this a vivid vision. And he said, take it to the mountains and say it to the mountains. And I had a place in Vegas that was near a place called Red Rock Canyon. And there was a mountain that had a red stripe across it. And I would go to a street where I could see the mountain really well. And I would shout out the vivid vision, and shout it out at the mountain. And it just invigorated me. And I just think it helps the physical universe to know that I'm in command here and this is what's going to be.
Wow. That's good. I did not have that particular view of why that was so effective, but I did know it was effective. And so thank you for that tip. So for all of you listening, do download the workbook that goes with this episode. Fill it out. You can look at it weekly, but at least minimally, take a look at it every 3 months. Look at what success means to you quarterly. I like quarterly.
I like quarterly too.
Hopefully you are practicing what you've written down and you're narrowing the gap. And your success is right there, living with you daily. Okay, with that, we're wrapping up another episode. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you all next week. So goodbye from Linda.
Goodbye from Karen.